At number one, we have Eric Cartman. What can I say about Eric that nobody's already said before? He has no empathy. He's probably a sociopath, and pretty much everyone in his life is expendable to some extent. Um, he got his own father killed inadvertently. I mean, it wasn't completely on purpose, so inadvertently wasn't the right word, but um, that's something for a later video that I'll cover. But pretty much everyone around him is expendable. I mean, Kyle, every time they have, like Gray Dawn, Kyle had to sacrifice himself to stop the old people from driving and all this kind of stuff. That's always Kyle. Always has to sacrifice himself. And one time he even banished his own friends to a dark oblivion to never be seen again. Every single one of them, just at a snap of the finger, just like that purple guy that what what's his name? He snap. I'm trying to snap to. I know. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. He, no one is safe around him. All right, and my theory for him is that his mother is only still alive because she supports him. And what I mean by that, obviously, she's the mother. She works crack whoring around or whatever it is she does now. Um, and I believe wholeheartedly that she would not be around. That he would have either ran away or probably not ran away because he has tried that before, but probably gotten rid of her just to be by himself and live his own way because he does get his own way no matter what. And I think without her giving him everything he wants, she would be gone. Because he is such a. He only cares about his self preservation. That's all Eric Cartman's MO is. No matter what happens, he's putting himself first. Even when you think he's doing something for someone else, like when he saved Kyle from San Francisco, that wasn't for Kyle. That was for him because Cartman was bored. you know, that wasn't for anyone else except for himself. So I think without her giving him everything he wants, she would be dead because Cartman doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't love a single thing on this planet except for maybe Clyde Frog, but I'm pretty sure Clyde Frog is gone now. So can we get a little hype in the chat for Clyde Frog? Press F in the chat to pay your respects to Clyde. Little Jewish boy, Kyle Broflovski. Sorry, it's just really fun to say his name sometimes. Anyways, what can I say about Kyle? I mean, he's definitely the moral compass of the show out of his friend group and pretty much everyone else in town. He's a wholeheartedly good kid. He doesn't fall into any BS schemes. There's been a couple of times he's fell in with Cartman, the crack baby episode. But I don't really fault him for that one because he did 100% believe that it was for the betterment of the babies. At least that's what I believe. And then you have like the episode of Cartman Burgers. He helping serve Cartman's burgers, but he had no idea what Cartman was doing with those, and he was only hanging out with Cartman because he had lost Stan and he needed a filler friend. Anyways, my theory for Kyle is that he's actually the smartest person in town out of anyone, even Mephisto, wherever he may be, and his three-assed whatever. I mean, if you look at it, he can smell BS from a mile away. So if he sees like the Rob Reiner episode, he like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. They didn't want to do it. Cartman went through with it anyway. Look what happened to Cartman, or like the Vamp Kids episode where they were getting turned into emos. They're like, no, not this week. Or when Cartman wanted to go fight the Chinese, he's like, I can't do this. Like, that was for a different reason, but he can realize that they're in some sort of loop and things just keep happening the same way unless they change. And he can read people and he knows who's genuine, he knows who's not. So I think wholeheartedly Kyle is the smartest person in town, even out of all the adults. 10-year-old, he's a normal 10-year-old kid. He falls into schemes. He tries to make money. He thinks he knows everything when he doesn't. He's not. exactly smart. He has an ego about him. If he gets popular about something or attention, he does use that to his advantage, and he does get an ego about it. Pretty much the polar opposite of Kyle. And an interesting little fact that everyone probably knows. They were actually going to get rid of Kyle in the early seasons because they thought him and Stan were too similar. Like, if you watch the old seasons, Kyle and Stan were pretty much the same character. And then as the seasons progress, Kyle comes into his own. Um, so that's just a fun little fact. Anyways, my theory for Stan is one. This one's a bit of a cop out. But my theory for Stan is he's always wasted. He's always wasted now. And that's because, if you remember, I mentioned the Asperger's episode. He was diagnosed with Asperger's, and the only way to get back to normal life was to be drunk. They gave him a bunch of booze, and then things went back to normal, but he was always wasted all the time. And shows up to Cartman, Burger's all wasted. Oh, screw you, Kyle, all that stuff. But I think the only way he's ever gotten back to normal was he's still using that method. At the end of the episode, you see him take a swig. So like I said, it's kind of a cop-out because it's kind of an obvious one. Like, they don't ever mention it again, but it's probably true. Because it seems like he has gone back to normal. He is a little more cynical than before, but with how the town is now, I would be cynical too. A lot of changes have happened, a lot of different things. PC Principal, Strong Woman, all those people coming in, and the dynamic changes, and that makes. And then when you have a dad like Randy, that doesn't really help either. So, my theory for Stan, to sum that up, is he just completely tanked off his ass all day to be normal, and that habit isn't healthy for anyone, let alone a 10-year-old. So, someone get that boy some milk. Alright, moving on to number 4. At number 4, we have Kenny McCormick. What can I say about Kenny? He got Lawrence Carpal, and he dies almost every episode. Wait, hold on a second. Sorry, if you didn't catch that. Number 4, we have Kenny McCormick. That was just my little Kenny impression. I don't know how well it came out. My theory for Kenny is that he actually has like a superpower. You know how he dies all the time. I think he actually has a superpower that prevents him from dying. I think he's immortal, and that's the only reason that he keeps coming back every episode. And there's already that's already been established. That's canon. That's in the show. Well, I'm just getting word from my producer, which is also myself, that Kenny actually already has had that superpower pre-established before, and now I feel a little silly. Can we cut? At number 5, we have Randy Marsh. What can I say about Randy that hasn't already been said? He is a great dad, a great husband, and he never gets into baseball fights. Okay. So, yeah, my producer's actually saying all of that was wrong. And again, I am my own producer. Anyways, Randy is not a great dad, not a great husband, and he does love getting into baseball fights. All kinds of different stuff like that. He's always doing something, whether it's baseball fights or cock magic or seeing the statue of the Bloody Mary to cure his alcoholism, anything. Being Lord. And that's actually my theory for him, is that he puts up with being Lord because he misses his days of being rich and famous when he was young. Back in an older episode, Stan and the boys wanted create a boy band to get rich and famous. Well, Randy doesn't want Stan to do it because he had all of that. He had the money, he had the cars, the girl, all that, anything he ever wanted. And he lost it the very next year because a newer, fresher boy band came in. Well, I think the reason he puts up with being Lord and the dress up and the bad recordings at first that they turn really good in the mixing process and all that is because he misses that. And I think all these little gimmicks he does along the way is to try to get back there. He's unfulfilled, obviously. Him and his wife hardly ever get along. So yeah, I think the only reason he continues to put up with being Lord is because he wants that fame and fortune back, and he's so unfulfilled. And yeah, I just don't think he has very much fulfillment out of life. That one's more of an opinion than it is really a theory, and do with it what you will. But yeah, that's Randy for us, and hoping he continues to keep up with his wild antics for more years to come, because he's one of my favorite fathers on TV, even though he's not a great one. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like it, go ahead and leave me a like, a comment, and if you want, go ahead and consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you want more content like this, and I got plenty of other videos that I will tag at the end here, fan theories, music, tutorials, all kinds of different stuff we're doing here on this channel. So go ahead and stick with me, and we'll grow together, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds. And as always, have a good day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Ride or die, I ain't got no ride or die. No one cares to see me cry, 'cause I got no ride or die, no one cares.